Bonjour.
Good morning, one and all. Welcome to the Renault E-Ways event, dedicated to today's mobility and tomorrow's as well. An event that gathers together all those who work practically to meet the zero-emission mobility challenge. We're live from Hangar Y in the town of Meudon, really close to Paris. Today, we have Nicolas Schottey, the CEO of Elexent, with us. How are you, Nicolas? I'm fine. It's a wonderful event. I'm so glad to be here so that we can talk about what we do so that we reach zero emission, which is the objective we all share. Wonderful. Now, Renault E-Ways explores all the possible ways to reach sustainable mobility. That is electric mobility and also charging stations. And this is what we'll be talking about today. Elexent, new ways of charging for companies. That's in English. Elexent, as you've probably gathered, is the new subsidiary developed by the Renault Group. This is a charging solution for professional vehicles. Can you tell us more about what you do? Sure. The objective that we have is to help all professionals so that they move towards cleaner mobility with electric vehicles and also PHEVs. When people have these cars in their fleets, they need to charge them, and that's what we do. We help our clients, we understand how they use their cars, and we work on the best infrastructure to meet their needs. Okay, you're talking about charging, which might be complex. What could be complex in charging a vehicle? Well, it's because there are many stakeholders that are needed. The users, of course, but also the buildings themselves. How can we bring utilities on a car park, for instance? What's the energy that's available? We'll have to choose both hardware but also services. All the elements that we need so that we have a solution that makes sense for the clients. And this is what we do at Elexent. We harness complexity so that we give the end users something simpler to use. Who are your clients? Who are you targeting? Well, as we speak, this is very much a B2B business. So we target enterprises, people who have from 2 cars to thousands of cars, as long as they use it for work. So it could be freelancers, but also SMEs, SMBs, and large groups. The objective is to help all those who are interested in electric mobility in their businesses. Can you give me a practical example? Let's say I'm a client. I'm going to knock at your door. Are you going to find a bespoke solution for me? Absolutely. Let me give you several examples. Certainly, because we have quite a portfolio of clients and customers. We work with, for instance, a distribution network, and what they need is to cover 80 sites in France. And this is quite formal. We study their needs, we visited their sites, we discussed with the different sites to understand their charging needs. We made design proposals, thanks to which we were in a position to reduce the investment cost. Rather than 5 or 6 million, we've gone down to a level of 2 million, and with no real impact on the use they make of their fleets. We listen to people who express their needs, and then there's installation. We install the stations, the charging stations, and then they'll have the full infrastructure, the hardware that they need. And then that's when we come up with services such as maintenance and other supervision services. And we have smaller clients as well. For instance, a rent-a-car company. They wanted to have charging stations wherever they rent their cars, in all of their branches, so that people could use electric vehicles as well before they include electric vehicles in their fleets. It was a lot simpler. We had 2 stations installed in each of their rental branches, and we discussed with the clients. So each case is different then. I suppose you don't refuse any client. The smaller ones, the bigger ones, you always have solutions for all the clients that knock at your doors? Absolutely. To use the English expression, we'd say we are customer-centric. Clients are different. We serve all clients, the small ones, the big ones, and sometimes the smaller ones can grow really big, and vice versa. So we take all professional customers. So you don't need to send your CV beforehand. No, certainly not. Now, if we talk about renewable energies, is it possible to consider renewable energies only? Well, everything's possible. We'll discuss this with the customers. If customers work in big buildings, they probably have constraints in terms of the energy they use. We don't want to come and add yet another constraint. What we do is that we include electricity or the cleanest energy as best as we can. We help and guide clients little by little throughout their transition. Of course, this is something we can do, and this is something we have for our clients. Good. Now, your company is a brand new company. How long was it set up? When was it set up? In June. In June. Well, it's been months and years that we've been working on this company. And by the way, Renault in the past 10 years has installed terminals for their clients, and therefore we have a long-standing experience. And the objective with Elexent was to harness all of these skills and talents and the experience gained by Renault over the years. So what's the difference between you and general competition? I'd say we are a hybrid company in that we have skills in cars and we have skills in our knowledge of customers with fleets, but also we know the grid and the ecosystem. So that means that we can really stand out. We're different from the competition. And there's something else which is quite striking, which is that we want customers to use electric vehicles, and therefore we choose the less costly solutions with the most affordable investment. I don't want the customers to pay for a golden charging station. No, no, no. We make sure that our objectives converge with our clients' objectives. This is in our DNA. Okay, good. Now, for the time being, you're in France, but I suppose you want to have a bigger reach. You'd like to become an international group? Well, as I said before, we will not refuse any customers in France, but we're not going to refuse any international customer. We started in June in France, so we are up and running. We serve our very first customers, and before the end of the year, we're going to deploy our organizations in the other large countries where we're present, that is the UK, where Renault operates, Spain, Italy, Germany, the Benelux, etc. So we're going to cover almost all of our neighboring countries before the end of the year. Okay, this is the beginning of an adventure with Elexent. How do you intend to grow in the future, apart from this international outreach? Well, what we were thinking about was the ecosystem. We're going to work on the ecosystem and customer needs. For instance, there's a need that emerged quite naturally when we were working on customers with fleets. The clients were saying, okay, what about our people when they go back home? How can they charge their vehicles? And this is what we do. We work with them on that. We think, therefore, about their workforce and where they live so that we can install charging stations. But also, we work with partners. We work with partners. Elexent has always been working with partners. We have joint ventures with partners. Could you give us examples? Yes, in France, Solstice, in Spain, Ibil, in Germany, another company. So what do these people do? Well, they work in photovoltaic, that is solar systems, but also they manage charging points or stations when you go from town A to town B. All of these technologies or building blocks will be integrated in Elexent so that we have a global structure and a global solution, which means that tomorrow we could have PV cells with electric mobility so that we're certain that the electrons we have in our batteries are self-produced coming from the rooftop. This is what we're going to do within the Elexent group, thanks to our partners that have genuine skills. So you're looking for innovative partners, I suppose, who'll be working with you so that you can promote your solutions. We're looking for innovative partners, but also partners who do things. It's all very nice to think only about startups. We need startups. They innovate, but also we need robust solutions that are mature on our markets. So we're looking for partners that have a business already and partners who are supporting their customers. So we're not looking for startups really, but SMEs and SMBs, companies that have a name and reputation on their markets. Now, what about you, personally speaking? What's Elexent? Is it more than just a new adventure? Something that you're very enthusiastic about? What really are the things that you liked in the project? Well, it's been 3 or 4 years. I've been working on electric mobility when I was back from Japan, and we had started working on a number of topics. You'll be talking about those with Porto Santo and others. And what was quite exciting with Elexent is to scale up, to do things at a higher level, and to truly have an impact on the planet and on society. This is the reason why I do this, to have an impact on the planet. Can you tell us more about your team? What about their profiles? I suppose this is a new domain that you're entering. How did you manage to recruit your teams? Well, in Renault, we have a pool of talents. They're incredible. And as I told you, we've been working on that topic for more than 10 years. So we have people who are very knowledgeable. So we decided to pick and choose the best talents, that is in sales, in network, in grid, in communication, in marketing, so as to build a team which is highly motivated. When they wake up in the morning, they think, we're going to change things. And this is what they're doing for the Renault Group. They're highly motivated and they believe in what they do. Okay, this week, as you know, this event goes into all the detail. We look at different topics. This is an ecosystem that we're talking about. Can you tell us more about perhaps the future? Is that something you are looking forward to? Well, things are changing at present. In the past, we were looking at niche markets or segments, and several months ago, we were fumbling our way through. Whereas nowadays, we're seeing that in Europe, 1 out of 10 cars is an electric vehicle, and it's going to be 50% soon. So we know that the future is going to be electric. We're changing the scale of things. We're scaling up, and we want the ecosystem to be as good as possible, and the infrastructure as well. Now, we're not just talking about technological difficulties. What we're looking at present is giving guidance to people and support to people so that people really buy into our storytelling. We need to simplify our messages. The technology is available already as we speak, so the change we need to consider is a mindset change, and we're going to help everybody so that they change their mindsets. I suppose that therefore Elexent focuses on guidance given to the users. Some might be afraid. I agree. And if people have their own mental obstacles, we have to explain things as simply as possible to tell them that it works. There's no need to be afraid. And the best thing to do is to help people, to show them how it works, and invite them to drive the car. When you're driving an electric car, there's no electric shock. Such a risk doesn't exist. So what we need is hands-on sessions. And a driving experience is probably the best thing you can think about so that people move towards electric vehicles. When people do that, when they drive a Twizy, a Zoe, or these new cars we've shown, people will never retrace their steps. And this is usually what clients tell us. When they drive an electric car, they don't want to drive anything else. Well, congratulations for that, and all the best to you, Nicolas. Thank you for this conversation that we've had, and we'll meet again soon. Thank you very much. Now, that's it for the time being. We'll meet again at 1:30 Paris time so that we can talk about hydrogen. Thank you very much, Nicolas. Thank you, Louise.